Welcome to SethCraft. In this video, I'm going to continue building this 10 by 12 outbuilding. It's time to do the insulation. We've got the walls and the ceiling to do today, so let's go ahead and get started. For the wall cavities, we're going to be using R13. This is a fiberglass pink insulation, and it's just going to be cut into sections and put on the wall, and we're going to use staples to hold that in place. This does have the paper back on it, and that will be facing out. Now for the ceiling, we have R19, and that's going to go between the 2x6 joists up here. Before the insulation can go in, we need to have boards that come out this way to allow the sheetrock to attach to. So I'm going to cut those real quick and just show you what it looks like whenever it's finished. Now that I have the corners prepared for the sheetrock, it's time to put the insulation here on the walls. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to measure down to the bottom and get that I need 81.5 inches here for this wall right here. All right, I'm going to unroll my R13 until I can get 81.5 inches out of here. Once I've found my measurement, I'm going to use a 2x6 here to press down in the insulation so that I can easily cut this. Got the paper side up, and that makes a big difference on how easy this stuff cuts. Now that I have this properly cut, I'm going to press it into the cavity, fold out the paper tabs on the side, and then I've just got a staple gun. I'm going to put some staples in to hold this in place. Back out here the next day, and we have finished the insulation on the walls. Let me show you around real quick before we tackle the ceilings. Now, I'd actually already filmed a couple of clips of installing the baffles, so I'll show you those first, and then we will begin insulating with some R19 here on the ceiling. So all four of the walls have now been fully insulated. We do have the triangular pieces up there on the gable ends done, and over here is looking really good, and over here as well. Before insulation can be placed here between the rafters, I need to install plastic baffles, and that's going to allow airflow to go from the soffit vents that are on the low side down here up to the high side. So the passive airflow will go from down here and slowly make its way out up there. And so the plastic baffles look just like this right here. And so they're going to be installed with this facing up. And so there's going to be about a 2-inch channel above the insulation that will allow the air to flow. So to get this installed, just make sure that the U shape is facing up. It fits right between your rafters here, and you do want to make sure that it's going to end right there above the top plate, and that should allow plenty of room for the insulation to stop here and allow airflow up into this channel. Just using some staples to get this put into place. Notice how I'm starting at the lower end first. The next piece is going to overlap and allow the air to continue going uphill. These baffles come in 4-foot pieces. I could cut this down, but instead I'm just going to overlap, make sure I have this up past the top plate up here, and I'm just going to staple these back in together.
It's not working.
How sharp is that knife?
I guess it's not.
It won't cut plastic bag.
Take two.
So all these baffles have been installed so that airflow can go from the lower portion of the roof up here to the upper portion. and the insulation will go here on top of this and hopefully keep us good. Now, because we put these style rafters in for the eave space, we don't have airflow from one side to the other, but I spoke with another carpenter friend and he said it's such a small area, it should be just fine. Similar to how the wall insulation was installed, we're going to press these into position. Now I do want to make sure that the top of the insulation goes up into the cavity just to the edge of that baffle end, so it's not blocking the airflow. Let's do one last look around here before we start doing the next video, which you can see is going to be sheetrock. So we just used the R13 in each of the walls. That is looking really good. One thing I really enjoy is how dead the sound is now that we have the insulation in. Now we used R19 on the 2x6 ceiling and it has done really well. Now we're going to have some lighting up here and also over here on this. It's just going to be those LEDs that snap onto the ceiling and don't have to have cans. All right, so that pretty much wraps up all of the insulation here. So our floor has that 2-inch foam board, and now all the walls and ceiling have the fiberglass insulation. I am very glad that this step is over here in our 10x12 build. I'm not a big fan of hanging insulation. I have a feeling the next step is going to be just as tedious, and that's the sheetrock. If you want to watch us struggle through that, then make sure you are subscribed and ring that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Seth with the SethCraft Workshop, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.